Incident like stabbing to occur in a school and then subsequently one person is lynched all within a school environment is frightening. Do you get the sense that this is a reflection of the structure of our society?
Well, it is a reflection. However, it goes beyond that. I mean, it raises some legitimate issues surrounding the security architecture and protocols we have in our various second-cycle
Do we have any at all? I mean, I went to a high school which was fenced, almost, so entry and exit were regulated, but beyond the frontage, the back was there. Students could just go in and
it happens.
Town folks could come in.
The issue regarding the fencing, to some extent, doesn't seem so feasible, especially with schools with huge tracts of land. For example, take a look at Tamale Senior High School. It's so huge. Even at Chimota, you can imagine the resources that would go into putting, a fence wall all around it. Okay, so for me, I mean, if it is possible, which I think it is, to have police officers stationed.
But you heard the parents saying that police officers stationed in schools have its own problems. For example, some students might be afraid of police and it might send some negative signals in the minds of parents, suggesting that perhaps their wards are not safe in these schools.
This is only a reflection of the discord between the people and law enforcement. I'm thinking that with proper education, engagement, dialogue, of course, not just between the parent-teacher association and the schools, but even with the students, we should be able to get the students buy-in. I know we live in a highly conservative society where we feel the adult is always right and we always have a tendency to impose our beliefs on the students. But I think it is high time we engage them in many of the policy directives, and by so doing, we should be able to get them to take
the engaging. Is it the heads of schools or parents? Because it looks like we're at a crossroad, really.
Everybody
parents
has
are becoming
a role.
Helpless. School heads are becoming helpless.
Everybody has a role to play. It goes beyond just the parents and the school heads. Even the media all have a role to play in that regard. So for me, if possible, let us also get the schools, if they have enough resources, to engage the services of private security firms who would provide 24-hour security to students, because if you don't live in a conducive atmosphere free of the fear of being harmed, you can imagine how not plausible teaching and learning.
But you were talking about private security. That is extremely expensive. You think the schools can afford? I mean, especially in an era of free senior high school, where government is footing the bills of the first students and progressively making it free.
Yes, I know many of these schools have complained in recent times over the fact that they don't have enough resources. But the safety of the students is paramount. And I'm sure, as a goodwill gesture, if they make a move, many parent-teacher associations would be willing to commit resources into making that a reality.
You talk about engagement. What about engagements with MMDAs and the Ghana Education Service and the ministry?
Yes, like I indicated clearly, I mean, they all have a role to play in that regard, because this is an area we have for years turned a blind eye to. But this is not anything new. I remember when I was in Tamale Senior High School, at the point there's a neighboring tertiary institution which had issues with one of our students because of a lady. In the night during entertainment, they went to the various dormitories and ransacked everything. And those students who were in the dormitories were even attacked. Okay, so this is not something new. So I think it is high time we put proper security measures on our campus.
But beyond security measures, you don't think this is also about discipline? I mean, how disciplined could students be to lynch someone?
It does happen, okay, and it all boils down to one thing: conflict management. Let us put some conflict management courses in our syllabus. I mean, to get students to understand what the rules are and what the consequence is. We should also make a conscious attempt to look into details or situations before designating the consequence. Like I indicated, the students would need to be communicated with. Sometimes we feel by telling students what the rules are, they they have a good, full grasp of understanding or comprehension. But they don't, in some cases, understand. But by engaging them more, by getting their opinions, we should be able to get them to respect the rules. And the rules should also be very consistent. If you have a rule that is being implemented on one side and not implemented to the latter on another side, it has a tendency of ruffling feathers. Because I spoke, trust me, with some residents officers ago, just trying to get to understand what the situation is, why students would go on rampage because they were not allowed to cheat in exams. And they said, oh, in another school, something allegedly, something similar happened. And so nobody did anything. Right. So, I mean, when they also do that, obviously nothing would be done.
Saani Adib, we're grateful for your time this evening. Saani Adib is a security analyst. I'm Stephen Enti. This is News at 10. We're live from the News Hub at Adib Saani. You can hear us also